What if I told you that everything you think you know about Jesus' teachings is just the tip of the iceberg? That for centuries, the most profound and transformative messages have been distorted, lost, or hidden. And what if these secret truths could not only help you understand the true path of Jesus, but also practically transform your life completely? You're about to embark on a journey that isn't just for the curious. It's for those who seek something greater. Let's dive together into this divine wisdom and uncover the keys that have the power to change everything. Jesus left one of the most profound and transformative teachings in Luke 17 verse 21. The kingdom of God is within you. This statement challenges the idea that fulfillment or enlightenment depends on something external. It reveals that everything you seek, happiness, purpose, and even the divine, is already present within your essence. The key lies in looking inward and discovering that you are the bearer of divine consciousness, a reality that can only be accessed when we silence the distractions of the world. This inner kingdom is like a treasure buried in a garden. Many go through life distracted, looking outward, unaware that true wealth lies beneath their feet. To begin exploring this sacred place, try practices like meditation or mindfulness. Set aside 5 minutes of your day to sit in silence, focus on your breathing, and simply observe your thoughts. This simple practice can reveal deep insights and bring a sense of peace that emerges from your own consciousness. This inner search is not exclusive to Christianity. Mystical traditions like Advaita Vedanta also teach that the divine essence, or Brahman, resides within each of us. Just as Jesus affirmed that heaven is not a distant place but a state of consciousness, these traditions reinforce that spiritual awakening occurs when we recognize our connection to the divine. It is not something we need to achieve, but a state that already belongs to us. By integrating this teaching into your life, you transform the way you see the world. Everyday actions, like cooking or conversing with someone, become opportunities to manifest the divine. When you understand that you carry the kingdom of God within you, you realize it also exists in others. But how can we see this reality in a world full of distractions? For that, we must open the single eye of vision, one of Jesus's most mysterious and powerful teachings. Among the hidden messages in Jesus's teachings, one of the most intriguing is found in Matthew 6 verse 22. If your eye is single, your whole body will be full of light. This verse points to something beyond the physical, referring to spiritual vision. Jesus is inviting us to open the single eye, known in mystical traditions as the third eye or Ajna chakra. This vision allows us to see beyond material illusions and perceive the divine reality that connects all things. Opening the eye of single vision is not a complicated process, but it requires dedication. To begin, you can practice focused meditation. Close your eyes, take deep breaths, and visualize a point of light between your eyebrows, the area associated with the third eye. Focus on this light as if it were a window to a greater universe. This practice, aside from being relaxing, can help you awaken a clearer perception of your own divine consciousness. This teaching is not isolated. It connects to Eastern and esoteric traditions that speak of spiritual awakening through the third eye. In Eastern mysticism, this energy center is considered a portal to higher realities. Jesus used language that bridged the physical and the spiritual, showing that true enlightenment does not come from what is seen by the eyes, but from what is perceived by the soul. This single vision transforms how we interpret the world around us. When you begin to see with this eye, something magical happens. The concerns of the material world start to lose their grip, and divine light begins to fill your life. Imagine facing your daily challenges with a clarity and peace that come from a deeper spiritual connection. However, this experience goes beyond individual perception. It leads us to understand our unity with the divine, a cornerstone of Jesus' teachings, as he said, "I and the Father are one." Shall we explore this connection further? When Jesus declared in John 10 verse 30, "I and the Father are one," he wasn't speaking only about himself. This message holds universal significance, showing that every human being has the potential to achieve this divine unity. It is not about distance or exclusivity, but about realizing that the separation between you and God is an illusion created by the ego. This teaching invites us to transcend that limitation and recognize that the essence of the divine already dwells within us. This unity can be compared to a drop of water that is part of the vast ocean. Just as the drop is not separate from the ocean, we are not separate from God. To access this truth, it is important to practice ego dissolution. Guided meditations that focus on connection with the whole can be a powerful way to experience this integration. Imagine dedicating a few minutes of your day to visualizing yourself as part of a greater light, feeling enveloped by this divine energy. This teaching is not exclusive to Christianity. Traditions like Eastern mysticism also speak about non-duality, the idea that everything is interconnected. Jesus, with his often overlooked wisdom, was already inviting us to experience this unity. He taught that the path to God is not external but internal, and that by dissolving the barriers of the ego, we uncover our true spiritual nature. Understanding this truth transforms not only your relationship with God, but also your relationship with the world around you. You begin to see people, situations, and even challenges as part of a greater divine plan. When you live in unity, decisions become clearer, and burdens feel lighter. But there's something more to this journey, the experience of being spiritually reborn and transformed with every step. Shall we explore how this rebirth happens? When Jesus spoke to Nicodemus in John 3 verse 3 about the need to be born again to see the kingdom of God, he was not referring to a physical rebirth but a spiritual transformation. This rebirth is a continuous process, a daily invitation to leave behind the old self, shaped by ego and worldly attachments, and embrace the divine essence that has always been within you. It is like a butterfly emerging from its cocoon, ready to live with a higher purpose. This rebirth doesn't happen by chance. It requires intention and practice. A good starting point is to establish a daily ritual of reconnection. Set aside moments in your day to meditate, reflect, or even write about the aspects of your life that need renewal. For example, at the end of each day, ask yourself, what did I learn today that can help me grow spiritually tomorrow? This simple habit can guide you toward ongoing transformation. This teaching from Jesus echoes esoteric traditions like the awakening of the Kundalini, where dormant spiritual energy is activated, bringing a new perspective on life. To be spiritually reborn means to awaken to a higher state of consciousness, where life is no longer viewed through the limited lens of the ego, but through the enlightened eyes of the soul. Each rebirth is an opportunity to align with your true essence and draw closer to the divine. As you embark on this journey, you'll find that you are not only transforming internally, but also changing how you relate to the world. Decisions are made with clarity and intuition, and each challenge becomes an opportunity for growth. Yet, this path requires courage, for it is narrow and filled with obstacles. But that is precisely why it is so transformative, just as Jesus taught about the power of the narrow path. Jesus emphasized the importance of following the narrow path, as stated in Matthew 7 verses 13 to 14. Small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. This teaching reminds us that the path to spiritual enlightenment and transformation is not the easiest, but it is the one that leads to true growth. The wide path, filled with distractions and immediate comforts, often pulls us away from the divine essence we seek to access. Walking the narrow path requires discipline and sacrifice, but offers the most profound rewards. Practices like daily meditation, studying spiritual texts, and self-awareness in our thoughts and actions are ways to walk this path with purpose. For example, When you feel tempted to react with anger or frustration, ask yourself, how can I respond to this situation in a way that brings me closer to the divine? This simple exercise can transform the ordinary into something sacred. Along this journey, it is natural to encounter obstacles. These challenges, however, are like tools that shape the spirit. Just as a diamond is formed under pressure, our souls are strengthened when we face difficulties with faith and perseverance. Jesus taught that the effort is not in vain, for every step taken on this path brings us closer to the kingdom of God and to a deeper connection with our divine consciousness. It is important to remember that while the path is narrow, it is never lonely. Those who walk it find a community of spiritual seekers, united by the desire for transformation. And like branches connected to the vine, we are strengthened by our connection to the divine, receiving the energy and wisdom needed to flourish. Shall we explore Jesus' powerful metaphor of the vine and the branches? In John 15 verse 5, Jesus offers a profound and transformative metaphor. I am the vine, you are the branches. If you remain in me and I in you, you will bear much fruit. Apart from me you can do nothing. Here, he reminds us that to flourish spiritually and live fully, we must remain connected to the divine source. This connection nourishes us, gives us purpose, and empowers us to manifest our divine essence in the world. Just as branches rely on the vine for survival, we depend on our connection to the divine to thrive in every area of life. This teaching comes to life in daily practices such as gratitude and surrender. How about starting your day by reflecting on something you are grateful for? This simple act strengthens your spiritual connection and allows you to live with greater intention and fullness. Small gestures like this are the fruits Jesus speaks of. This concept resonates with mystical traditions around the world, which emphasize the importance of staying aligned with universal energy. In Eastern mysticism, for example, connection to the divine is seen as the key to balance and enlightenment. Jesus presents this idea in a practical way, showing that by remaining in the vine, we not only grow spiritually but also positively influence the world around us. Maintaining this connection requires continuous practice and awareness. Think about how you can align with your divine essence when making decisions in daily life. Imagine asking yourself, is what I am about to do in harmony with the divine within me? This reflection transforms ordinary choices into opportunities for spiritual growth. But this journey of bearing fruit and growing does not end here. Jesus also taught about the power of our intention, guiding us to create the divine reality we desire. Shall we explore this next? In Matthew 17 verse 20, Jesus taught about the impact of faith and intention when he said, "If you have faith as small as a mustard seed, nothing will be impossible for you." This teaching goes beyond passive belief. It is about aligning your intention with the divine to manifest meaningful change in your life. He invites us to trust in the transformative power of clear intention connected to divine consciousness, a concept deeply rooted in mysticism. Intention works like a seed. When planted with faith and nurtured with action, it grows and transforms into reality. For example, if you desire to live with more peace, begin each morning by declaring out loud, "Today, I choose peace in every situation." This simple act aligns your mind and actions with your purpose, paving the way for you to notice opportunities to manifest this intention throughout the day. Jesus' teaching also connects to spiritual practices like Kriya Yoga, which uses breath and meditation to focus the mind and awaken inner energy. Just as these traditions emphasize, clarity of purpose is essential to achieve enlightenment and live in harmony with the kingdom of God. Intentions without focus are like arrows shot into the void. They lose power and fail to reach their target. When you apply the power of intention in your life, you begin to notice that small changes create significant impacts. Imagine setting a clear intention before every meeting, decision, or important interaction. Ask yourself, what energy do I want to bring to this situation? This practice not only transforms outcomes, but also deepens your connection to the divine. However, to fully understand the impact of Jesus' intentions, we must explore the influences that shaped his teachings, a connection that leads us to consider how he learned from other spiritual masters. Shall we continue? While the canonical Gospels do not detail Jesus' so-called lost years, many esoteric traditions suggest that he traveled to regions like Egypt, India, and Tibet. These journeys may have exposed Jesus to profound teachings from the spiritual masters of these cultures, shaping the foundation of his universal message. It is fascinating to imagine that his lost wisdom bears traces of practices such as Kriya Yoga, which emphasizes the union of breath and intention to achieve higher states of consciousness. Picture Jesus in Egypt, learning mystical secrets preserved in ancient temples, or meditating in the Himalayas under the guidance of sages practicing self-mastery. These influences are reflected in his teachings about introspection and spiritual transformation. For instance, his invitation to enter your room, close the door, and pray in secret, Matthew 6 verse 6, echoes the meditative practices of Eastern traditions, which value inner silence as a gateway to the divine. The concept of unity, expressed in his words, "I and the Father are one," also aligns with Advaita Vedanta philosophy, which teaches non-duality, the understanding that all is one divine essence. This connection between Jesus and other spiritual traditions does not diminish his message. Instead, it makes it even more powerful and inclusive, revealing that spiritual truth is universal and accessible to all who seek it with an open heart. Reflecting on these influences, we see that Jesus' teachings were not confined to a single culture or perspective. They transcend boundaries, bringing together the best of various spiritual traditions. This perspective invites us to expand our search for wisdom, learning from diverse paths to enrich our own spiritual journey. And so, you might ask yourself, what will be the next step in your spiritual transformation? Now that you've uncovered these hidden teachings and discovered how they can transform your spiritual journey, only one question remains. What will you do with this knowledge? Will you continue living on autopilot, caught up in the distractions of the world, or will you take action and start your transformation today? Jesus showed us that the kingdom of God is within us, waiting to be explored. The decision to take that step is yours alone. Imagine what it would be like to live a life aligned with divine consciousness, guided by clear intentions, and filled with purpose. Don't let these profound messages remain mere theory. Apply them to your daily life. Ask yourself, am I willing to commit to my spiritual evolution, or will fear and inertia hold me back? Challenge yourself to do something different. Share what you've learned here with someone you believe is also ready for this journey. Spreading this light is part of the path. Remember, every step taken on the narrow path brings us closer to enlightenment, and the world needs more seekers like you. So, subscribe to the channel now and turn on notifications to keep receiving content that nourishes your soul and expands your spiritual vision.